Without further ado, let's take a look at the grid. So on the lineup here, we have some real top names coming out to you this morning. They're not yet in the cart, but as I run down the list, we've got round 3, heat 5. Let's have a look. It is going to be Sam Slater's in there, I know. Sorry, round 3, heat 6 is what we're after. That's what we're actually doing. It is Nicky Dolan. He's at the top of the entry list here. We've got Michael Weddle, Matt Clark, the young 15-year-old who we saw putting a storm in form us earlier on. We've got Russell Endine, we've got Marco Brem, we've got Sean Brierley, Sam Slater, as I mentioned. We've got Rob Doomer, who we saw doing very well yesterday, Gavin Williams and Mitch Powell. And this is going to be a really good race to kick the morning off with. One thing that is notable is that the track conditions are very often very, very cold. Gives the driver a feeling of it being wet, even though theoretically it shouldn't be raining on an indoor kart track. And so from that, we may see some surprising results. Co-commentator here, Spanners. Spanners, what do you think we've got in store?
I see myself more as a pit lane reporter.
Pit lane reporter's fine.
Yeah, what's that about raining indoors? That's not a serious threat, is it?
No, well, hopefully not, unless the roof's leaking.
No, interesting though, the weather conditions will change actually and evolve as the day goes on, because it's very, very cold down there. Even in summer, they managed to simulate the dead of winter.
Well, what's interesting is, as I came into the building this morning, I was seeing -1 on the thermometer, and that's obviously going to be the temperature of the track as well, isn't it? So -1, it's going to be pretty cold.
Don't worry, they make it nice and warm up here for you, James. I'm looking through some of the credits there. You've got Michael Weddle.
Yeah.
I'm a bit upset they haven't got his iRacing credits. He's a Missed Apex iRacing winner, very competitive and fast, and a very nice guy as well. So we'll be cheering him on, I think, in the first round as well. But like I say, Sean Brierley there as well. So it's a tough one to kick the day off with, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And people like Russell Endine, who we've seen compete very strongly before, he's got a lot of points to make up. The winner potentially, Sean Brierley, is going to be wanting to take this one, I think, definitely for the points, because it's getting very tight when you look at the points.
Well, I tell you what, that heat is winnable.
Yeah, somebody's got to win, and it is winnable for Sean Brierley.
It's not the heat of death.
No, but there's some savage ones. What about Sam Slater yesterday? He's out in action in this one. He came through from nowhere to take that result yesterday.
I don't think he can pull that trick off every time unless he's got some kind of Harry Potter wizard-style pit tactic.
Well, he won't now, because they will definitely be looking for him, won't they? I think yesterday they didn't see him coming. They were looking at each other. Sean Brierley certainly will be worried about Slater, I think. He'll probably see him as a main threat. I would consider that as a main threat. But Rob Doomer as well, the Polish driver, I think will be strong in this one. At the moment, they're down there. We can see out the window. We've got the drivers are doing the kart draw. They're obviously going to be putting the weights in the carts, and then we'll be actually underway. If we look down now, we can see the drivers already actually getting in. Start identifying. Sean Brierley's got one nearer the back, so he's going to be a later qualifier. And is that Sam Slater at the very tail? Just trying to have a look. At the back, yes, it is. It's Sam Slater and Sean Brierley are both at the back. They're going to be at the back end of the qualifying lineup there, Spanners. Do you think that'll help them? Make no difference at all.
I don't know. How does the qualifying work here? As long as they find themselves a little bit of space on track to get their lap in, no, I don't think that will affect them. I know that there's a psychological effect, isn't there? They get they've picked out the carts that in their mind are better or worse. It tends to be the ones they had a good result in. They go, well, that's a good car. I want that again. And it's almost a scientifically motivated superstition. Because they think they've identified a trend when really they're just associating it with their own good results. So if they get into the kart they won with in the last time, or they get in a kart they see Rubens doing really well in, they go, that's a great
That's
car.
the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course when they do rubbish, it's all the kart's fault. It's never them.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Well, we're looking at them getting in. There's Clark just getting in the bottom corner of the screen. Your man Weddle, we can see him in the predominantly blue suit there. He's jumped aboard his machine.
His machine. Is that
his machine.
Let's call
there's Rob Doomer in there. Sean Brierley, Sam Slater towards the back there. The driver just between them. I've got a feeling that might be Nicky Dolan, is it, in the 12? We'll check when the times when we get the confirmation from that. But certainly a few last-minute picks being made and a couple of karts still yet to be got in. The timer's on that little screen. It was interesting yesterday, Spanners, having a look at the little screen on the steering wheel. That's making quite a difference to a few people, from what I'm hearing.
It was such a good feature. I went back and watched it before I went to bed. It was really cool, and it is a fantastic feature, and I can't wait to jump in. I didn't realise they had this just all the time. This isn't a special feature for the races here today, that's just part of
going
the
to be at
rental
Formula
car.
Fast all the time. So if you're into your indoor karting, you come here to Formula Fast, it does sound as though you're going to have a screen on the steering wheel whenever you turn up.
And it's a good way to get my son into karting because basically you hand him a screen and that's him occupied for hours. So he'll be delighted with that.
He'll want a camera on it, won't he?
You're going to make me go down to the cold, aren't you?
The producer will.
Curse you. Okay, let's go. Scruffy Bear calling the shots from the commentary room.
Okay then, so it looks like everybody's got their car allocation now, and we're going to be getting ready to head off. Looking down there, that is Matthew Clark. I don't think he's actually in the lead cart though. We've got a couple going out before him. Just looking down, see if we can identify which ones they are. Not really from here, but Russell Endine is going to be up at the front. He's one cart ahead of Clark that we can see in front of us. Track is being ready, the marshals are getting ready. There's Russell Endine there that we're looking at now, and he's going to be the second one out to qualify. I'm sure he's going to feel that he's at a slight disadvantage because he's hitting the track before the others and it'll be colder, but really it probably won't make a lot of difference. It is very cold down there. It was -1 on the thermometer outside the building. The building does have heating, but you know, it is a large building. It's a difficult one to heat. There's Rob Doomer having a big old stretch in the mid pack there, and Sean Briley indicating with Sam Slater. I think he's obviously saying, look, let's see what we can do in this qualifying, try and get the front. You'd have to say on paper that this really would be the likely winner in Sean Briley. It looks like he's having a good old joke there with Sam Slater, obviously feeling quite confident and happy about all of this. Sean Briley, of course, is chasing points at the moment. Sean Briley, if I look down, is, well, I just need to get the screen over as to where the points are. Sam Slater currently is 24th on points. He's the driver at the back in the predominantly green helmet. 24th in points. Semi-finals, you need to be the top 30. So Sam Slater, with that win yesterday, has elevated himself in a position to consider a semi-final place. Obviously, some good points here will help that. And if he has a bad race, it could well turn that around and hinder it badly. So, but certainly Sean Briley would always be considered a contender. You can see Rob Doomer there with the yellow and red helmet. He has had some very good results and is wanting to get into the semi-final himself. But Sean Briley, I can't see him really in the top 20 at the moment on the listings. So obviously he has one less heat race. This is halfway through the third round, so many of those at the top will be in a, you know, they've got more points to call on because they have done more races, but this will even things out, if you like. I think Sean Briley's at 20th looking at this. So just getting ready for the scheduled off. The race is due to go out at about 8 o'clock, and it's just over that now, so
I've made it down to the pit lane, James.
So there is Clark. He's in the 16 there. He's not really looking to get through into the semi-final. He has been running near the tail in most of the races. I think really what he's trying to do is build on his experience. He's in a good race to do that. It's going to be quite possible for him to make serious inroads to the midfield. But Matthew Clark is first ever BRKC. He's been competing at a good level so far. But in the British Rental Kart Championship, it's been definitely a case of see what he can do. Spanners, looking down there, Sean Briley's been looking very confident, leaning around and talking with people. This is a good chance for him to get some good points, I think.
I'm just checking you can hear me all right, James?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I'm in the pit lane. I'm having a good look into the steely cold eyes of the gladiators this morning. Weddell's looking focused. Doomer is stroking and caressing his cart like it's a chariot about to bring him into battle. Briley looks very relaxed. Slater's looking focused. Yeah, these guys look pumped for the first race. I'm really looking forward to this. I think we're going to have excitement right from the beginning today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good one, this. It doesn't have the Boutons in it, it doesn't have the Schottler in it, but it does have Sean Briley, and it does have Sam Slater and Russell Endine too, among others. So they're heading out now. This gets Sunday underway here at the British Rental Kart Championship. And It is Mitch Powell actually who's leading the way out there. He's actually carrying a really good pace on this warm-up lap. The kart's coming out. I'm expecting to see a little bit of a slow start pulling away from Sean Briley. Yeah, he's creating quite a bit of a gap there. He's leaving it arguably. Now he's faffing with the seat. That's just giving him more time to have a gap to the kart in front so it doesn't look like he's hanging back. Sam Slater's gone with him. Sam Slater's very close, but it won't hurt his qualifying attempt. He knows that Sean Briley is very fast. So, starting his qualifying lap now is Mitch Powell. Mitch Powell opens up the... yes, I can. Okay, so Russell Endine is the second one out to qualify. He will probably be the one who comes in fastest initially, and we'll see what happens before we get to Rob Duma and then down to Sean Briley and Sam Slater.
Sam Slater was warming up his tyres. Even in the pit lane, he was trying to get it warmed up. So he looks like he's got the bit between his teeth.
Okay, so we're getting the results in now. We've got Matt Clark. Matt Clark has gone fastest from Russell Endine, Nicky Dolan. This is incredible showing by Matt Clark. Michael Weddle's now quickest. Rob Duma has passed Matt Clark on the timing for the qualifying. And what about Sean Briley and Sam Slater? We've got Gavin Williams yet to put a time in. And he's gone 7th. What about Sean Briley? He's gone top. And Sam Slater's gone 2nd. So Sean Briley qualifies on the pole position for this opening race of the day, followed by Sam Slater, Michael Weddle 3rd, Rob Duma 4th. Matt Clark is now in the top half of the starting lineup. That's the first time he's done that this weekend. A great showing by Matt Clark. And then it's Russell Endine has been pushed down 6th. Nicky Dolan is 7th. Mitch Powell is 8th. Gavin Williams 9th. And Mark O'Brien rounds them out in 10th. So Spanners, Sean Briley's going to have exactly the opening race he wants, a start from the pole position.
What do you think that Sam Slater and Sean Briley are going to be working together here? Because they've got the mini driver Michael Weddle behind them. So do you think they'll work together to get away?
I think they'll have to. If they don't, Weddle is going to keep them a bit more honest than they would ideally like. I think they'll work together, pull away for a few laps, and then fight it out for the second half of the race.
I don't think Weddle's scared to go through anyone if he has to. So I think if the top two give him a bit of a gap, he's likely to go for it.
Well, I was talking to Michael Weddle this morning before the start, and he already thinks he's out of the event. So on that basis, this is going to be a shot for glory, isn't it? He's going to be trying to win this thing. And you've got to rate his chances. There's Rob Duma we're looking at on screen, who's behind Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle in the predominantly blue. There is Matt Clark. I'm quite impressed there by Matt Clark, who's starting 5th place. It's by far his best performance.
I've got a prediction for you here early on. Duma to pit in the first 2 laps.
Well, there you go. And we're about to start those first 2 laps now, Spanners, because they're underway. Sean Briley's bringing them round. There's Sam Slater, and the Michael Weddle is going to be the one to watch in 3rd. What's he going to do about the 2 leaders? So Sean Briley is now on the throttle, and he's going to start the day from pole position. There he goes. He's into the first corner. There's Sean Briley. Yellow versus the green of Sam Slater, the 2 main British hopes. But Michael Weddle, one of Scotland's favourites. He races cars up there in the north. He knows Knock Hill circuit very well indeed. But Michael Weddle is running 3rd at the moment. This is where he qualified. Sean Briley is already trying to pull away when he's trying to take Sam Slater with him. Sam Slater won't want to be in the clutches of Michael Weddle because he knows Michael Weddle isn't really looking to make the semi-final. He's just going to have do what he can, and what he can is going to be trying to win this race. Rob Duma's in 4th. Your prediction for an early stopper is still in 4th. He's still out there, Spanners. But of course, he wouldn't have come in this lap anyway, because it's still lap 1, wouldn't it?
Well, actually, he is in a prime position now to be one of those early duck out of the leading group candidates to pit. So it'll be interesting to see if he comes in. I guess it depends on whether he can keep up with Weddle naturally anyway. If he sees himself dropping off, then you can settle in, because there's quite a gap to 5th now.
And to be fair, Spanners, if this was Conor Marsh, he'd be heading for the pit lane in that 4th place, wouldn't he?
I agree, James. He stayed out.
Yeah, and in fact, it's West and Matt Clark. Matt Clark from 5th is coming in.
Now that's an interesting one. So maybe he felt like he was under pressure from behind. He certainly wasn't losing time ahead, but he's just decided to have his own race maybe. And that's good, a good early pit stop to kick the day off nice and smooth.
Yeah, Matt Clark there coming out of the pits. He did have Russell Endine all over the back of him when he did enter the pit lane there, so he was probably feeling some heat, but he's backed out of that one, and he's our first pit stop. We'll see how that strategy works out. So that's allowed a position up for Russell Endine, Nicky Dolan, Mitch Williams, Gavin Williams and the rest. So around they come. And across the line, another one in the pits.
Yeah, we've got an early roll of the dice here from Gavin Williams. He looks pretty pleased with that stop. And I think we'll call that a 9 out of 10. And he's on his way with a little kiss of the barrier, just for good measure.
Yeah, and he's come out behind Matt Clark. So Matt Clark, with that early pit stop, has already made up a position. Ahead of them are Mitch Powell and Marco Graham, who have not pitted. Here's Sean Brierley, and Sean Brierley's already got a couple of karts lead over Sam Slater, who we saw win yesterday. And third place is still Michael Weddle, who's trying to keep Sam Slater really on his front bumper. There's less than a kart distance there, and this is a very good showing by the Scotsman in third. I mean, he is very good. We've seen him at the very top in BRKC before, but that was many years ago when it was a multi-round formula. And Michael Weddle's showing very strong in third place there. Not a million miles away from the leader, early days though it is.
No, he's definitely keeping in touch, but I've just remembered that Michael Weddle did once wipe me out of an iRace, so I rescind my support for him. I'd forgotten about that. Still bitter, James.
He probably loved it.
He did, you know, he was gleeful on the Discord chat.
Okay, so the now less than favourite Michael Weddle continues to run the third. He does. He's working on Sam Slater though. Sam Slater has dropped back a little bit from Sean Brierley. You would have to say that Sam Slater's aim would have been to run more with Brierley. Brierley is in this to win, yes, but Michael Weddle is in this for a pure fight this morning, I think, and he's going to want to race everybody he can. He's won a good showing. He's showing very well in that third place, and he really is sticking with Sam Slater. This is not over for Michael Weddle yet. This could be his best race by far in the British Rental Kart Championship for several years now.
And now that you've said it, I'm sure nothing will go wrong. If it does go wrong, you have to take full responsibility for cursing it. But I think that Michael Weddle is Briley's best friend at the moment, because if he starts to put pressure on Sam Slater, we'll see that gap start to open up.
Absolutely, Spanners. He's certainly in a position to give Sam Slater a lot more to think about than just Sean Brierley in front of him. Anything that happens with Michael Weddle, though, is going to be to the advantage of Rob Duma. We've seen Rob Duma winning BRKC races before. It's been a very tough year for everybody, but Duma has been performing very well so far. He's currently in fourth place. Yeah. It could be said he's falling away a bit and into the clutches of Russell Endine, but he's still hanging on in there in fourth place, and on the straight at least, the leader is in his sights.
Well, you stole my thunder there, yeah. Endine is closing in on Duma, so I've got a feeling that front three is now going to disappear. It's a shame for Duma, who was on the back of that front four, but I think now he's got to look backwards now and consolidate that fourth place.
Absolutely, and there they are on screen. Now Russell Endine is following him. So there's Rob Duma, and behind is Russell Endine. Now it's been a while since we've considered the older, Russell Endine from a few years ago, who would be routinely battling for the win. A little bit harder for him these days, and obviously I think he's doing a bit less karting generally these days, but a very good showing. He's looking very strong indeed there, and he's staying with Rob Duma, another one who we've seen win British Rental Kart Championship races is Russell Endine. He and Duma circulate together. Another one in the pits.
Yeah, we've got Nicky Doolan coming in from near the back of the field. He's going to be struggling to come out in front of in the battle of Matthew Clark, but he's managed it, and that's... Oh, Matthew Clark's back down the inside. That was decisive and vital, because that would have been a place lost for Matthew Clark, who now I think is retaining his net overall fifth place.
Excellent racing there by Matt Clark. Now, one thing in Matt Clark's favour was I don't think Nicky Dolan had seen him, because when Nicky came out the pit lane, instead of hogging the inside into the hairpin, he moved over to the traditional racing line, which without the momentum that you would get accelerating across the line, as in he's just come out the pits, it gave Matt Clark a bit of a speed advantage, and Clark went up the inside. However, Nicky Dolan is back onto it, and he's challenging with Matt Clark. So nearer the tail, just out of shot, we're looking at Duma and Russell Endine on screen. So this is the Polish driver Rob Duma and the Brit Russell Endine. Slightly out of shot, we've got a big battle brewing up at the back between Matt Clark, Nicky Dolan and Gavin Williams. Really there, Nicky Dolan was the unlucky one, got mugged coming out of the pits there. But Gavin Williams is bringing up the tail, but he has a great deal of success behind him. He was third in the BRKC O Plate, the Summer Championship last year. That's third, and he is the absolutely karting champion for the 90 kilo weight, which is what they're running to here in BRKC. So, you know, Gavin Williams, although he's actually running last on the road, has got success behind him at this kind of competition, is certainly at this weight. But we are looking on screen there at the 13, which is Mitch Powell. Mitch Powell is in a bit of a battle with Marco Brem. Mitch Powell we haven't really seen too much of this weekend, but Mitch Powell was an O Plate finalist in the BRKC last summer, the Summer Championship. So another one has shown well. He's running in 6th place at the moment. Nicky Dolan's got ahead of Matt Clark at the back there, just out of a matter of interest. So Nicky Dolan has got the place back that he lost to Matt Clark. In fact, Matt Clark's been bundled back to last. So although it's not showing up on screen yet because they've yet to pass the line, Matt Clark has managed to lose 2 places in a single lap.
And that battle with Endine as well has really come to fruition, as they're now nose to tail with Duma. You were making Russell Endine there sound like a grizzled old veteran, just back in for one more fight.
Well, he is a grizzled old veteran. He probably would consider it he's here for several fights. But time is passing, Spanners. Time is passing. And Russell Endine, like all of us, isn't getting any younger. And he's been around a long time now. Time was when Russell Endine was one of the predicted front runners. He's running 5th today, which is in the top half. But he hasn't managed to put a win together yet this weekend. But Russell Endine is there with Rob Duma. He's certainly very fast indeed, and there's certainly no question over the man's ability. The standard is so high this weekend.
The standard is crazy, and I was looking at the table after round 2, and there was something ridiculous like 2 points between 30th place and 50th place. So really every single place is going to count.
Yeah, we've been talking about Russell Endine. They're on screen, and actually Russell Endine is pressuring Rob Duma harder and harder and harder. He's right on the tail of the Polish driver. Russell Endine, of course, has won many races in BRKC, particularly when it was a multi-round thing. He also, Spanners, has won the British 24-hour race.
Wow.
But that was way back in 2016. So here is Russell Endine pressuring the Polish driver at the end of the back stretch. They're coming round that corner, round back to start another lap. A real nice, tight, close-up view there for those on screen and watching on TV and on the internet.
Well, I'll tell you what, Weddell's fallen back from those front 2 now, so I'm not going to say he's chilling out, but he's certainly got a little bit of space to himself now. So now they've got to start thinking about when it is they're going to do their pit stop. And what we saw in that last race is, the longer you leave it, the more the race dictates to you when you're going to do it and what options you have. So although, you know, initially people were saying, well, just leave it as long as possible, I'm not sure it's as simple as that when you get to this kind of static race.
Well, what's been interesting, Spanners, is we've seen some real early stopping heroes. Someone's coming in. It's Russell Endine.
Yes, Endine. He's decided he'd had enough of tailing Duma, but he's in a little bit of danger of being caught up in the battle here between Mitch Powell and number 20 as well, Marco Brem. So he's behind those 2 on the road now.
And that's not what he wanted to see. He really wouldn't have wanted to see that, because he's actually done something I was going to bring up on that, saying we've seen some strategic early stops, we've seen some strategic late stops, but we haven't seen anyone planning a strategy based around a mid-race stop. And Russell Endine has stopped literally bang in the middle of this race.
Sorry, James. Duma's covering him off. He's seeing if he can get ahead, and I think this is going to work out because Endine got caught up. It's not a given. It's going to be close. He's going to have to hold it on the inside of turn 1.
Absolutely, Spanners, you've read it to perfection. Russell Endine needed to come out ahead of those, as he would consider them, back markers, but you've got one of them in. Is that Brem?
Yeah, Brem's decided to duck out of that battle, and he himself, I think he's going to lose out here. Oh no, commentator's eyes off a bit, comfortably out ahead of Sean Briley, but he's a lap down, so this could interfere with Sean Briley's lead.
Well, multiple championships to his name. Oh, and you've got another, it's Weddell.
Yeah, Weddell's come out into a good gap, so I don't know if he's got team radio or anyone guiding him when to pit, but that was the perfect place to come out.
Yeah, that's been very interesting. We're seeing a whole bunch of people. Oh, and there's another one in the pits.
Yeah, it's Mitch Powell. Mitch Powell as well. I think he's going to come out behind that pack that we were talking about earlier with Nicky Dolan. And also, I think he's in serious danger of interfering with Sean Briley.
He is in serious danger, and there's Brem. Brem has been passed by Briley, and Briley's waving. Waving.
This is a disaster. This is a disaster for Briley, because Sam Slater's just had a serene and easy stop, and he's out into clean air as well. So Briley's got some work to do now. He's not going to be happy.
And being held up, I mean, what could he do? The guy's got to be somewhere. Sean Briley was trying to tackle 2 people at once who were battling with each other. So that could play into Sam Slater's hands, and Sam Slater has had exactly the pit stop he needs to make this work.
He's done it again. He's a wizard.
He has. He's excellent, isn't he? I mean, this is what happens when a driver competes regularly in the foreign championships. They learn to read these situations. That's exactly what happened to Sam Slater yesterday. Nobody saw him coming yesterday, and I think everybody's watching him in this one. There's Sean Brierley on screen in the predominantly yellow outfit, yellow and black. Sam Slater is behind. It's really going to come down to Sean Brierley's pit stop that dictates the result of this race. Sean Brierley's got the speed, Sam Slater's got the speed. Sam Slater had an excellent pit stop on the exact lap that Sean Brierley was held up. And so Sam Slater, with that, has certainly closed in any gap that had been building up between them. I think Michael Weddle will be dropping away. Yes, he is. He'll be dropping away a bit from Sam Slater, which was predicted, but maybe, even by his own standards, not as much as it could have been. Michael Weddle certainly isn't being left for dead. He's losing ground to Sam Slater, yes, but it's a very solid-looking third place for Michael Weddle, ahead of Rod Duma and Russell Ending.
Did you just call them outfits? That he had a nice outfit? I like that.
I can't remember actually, Spanners, but I may use it in conversation later.
Well, I call them coveralls, and I get quite a lot of stick for that, but I think outfits is worse.
Okay, so, well, whatever he's wearing, it's predominantly yellow,
a
Spanners.
lovely outfit.
Yeah, and it's on the screen now. So his outfit, his coveralls, his overalls, his race suit, however we're going to label it, Sean's wearing it, and it's in the lead at the moment on his body. As they come round the bottom corner there, they're in the later part of the lap there. There's Sean Brierley. You can see he's very serene and smooth. He's catching a battle in front of him. The first one he's going to get to is Matthew Clark. That means it's Gavin Williams and Nicky Dolan who's ahead. Now, they've all been in the pit lane. We can expect some blue flags, but the blue flag is going to occur at certain points on the circuit. There are 3 karts there, and obviously when the marshals flag them, between them they have to know who's actually being flagged at whatever point. Okay, you flag the first one, that one might move in a direction off the line that's a different direction than the one behind, so Sean Brierley would still be getting held up even though people were trying to help him out. So there's Sean Brierley, and he's in the pits.
Yeah, he's coming to the pits now. That's well timed because he was about to just catch up with that group that you were talking about. It's the right time to get out, but I'm going to pass this over to you because Sam Slater, I think, is going to take the lead.
He's going to do it. Sam Slater's done it. He's just been able to tuck in front of Sean Brierley. There he is in the green, and there's Sean Brierley in the yellow. And Sam Slater, probably because of Sean Brierley's problem earlier on being held up slightly without intention, has been able to leapfrog in the lead. Sam Slater, very fast. Now he does a number of the international events. He knows how to read these situations, and he's read it to perfection. So Sam Slater has leapfrogged into the lead. Sean Brierley, it was in reality, it was a very inspired pit stop. That's precisely, Spanners, why a driver would stay out as long as they could so that they can use the pit stop to get away from a problem which was 3 back markers in front of him from Sean Brierley's point of view. But unfortunately he's dealing with Sam Slater here, who's actually read it even better than him and pitted earlier, and exact same time as Sean Brierley had the problem. However, Sean Brierley is now going to be in attack mode for sure, and he's going to work on the back of Sam Slater. They are coming down to what could well be, is it Brem and where is it, Mitch Powell? I think Brem and Powell are going to be caught by Sam Slater and Sean Brierley, so this will be very interesting. There they are. So there's Sam Slater, there's Sean Brierley, but ahead of them are the 2 back markers, and they're going to be closing in very soon.
Oh yeah, Sean Brierley was between a rock and a hard place. He needed some more laps to try and get that gap back to Sam Slater, but that pack in front of him was just going to suck away time. I don't think realistically he had a choice. He had to go. But in that melee, as there's an overtake there actually down the back straight from Brem, who's gotten ahead of Mitchell. Mitchell decides to pull over for the leaders. I'm not sure Brem's seen them. He has a glance over his left shoulder, so I think he might be planning letting the leaders through. And Mitchell, if he's smart, will try and follow them through as well. Max Verstappen, Monaco style.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch Powell here, in his battle with Marco Brem, he could well use those leaders as the lever to get past Brem. Now, what's going to be very interesting, I think he's a bit too far back, to be honest, Spanners, looking out the window. But there's Sam Slater. Now, you can see the blue light flashing above. Brem will have seen that. He's letting Sam Slater through, and now he's let Sean Brierley through. So
very good.
Brem and Powell, no issue this time to Sam Slater or Sean Brierley. They've moved out the way, and so here come the leads across the line. There's Brem, and there's Powell. So there actually was Michael Weddle, who's still there third. Okay, so we're hearing there's a kart stopped down the bottom. Right.
Okay, so I was just keeping an eye. We lost track of the Duma battle, but Duma in that melee came in to cover off Endine and successfully did so. The interesting thing is, although he's been driving defensively, Duma, he has actually been driving very aggressively as well and going for it, trying to keep that gap with pace and not just blocking the road. But it does seem to have let Gavin Williams catch up. So now we've got a really interesting four-way scrap, and I think that's for 4th place.
Yeah, Russell Endine is holding 4th place at the moment on the screen with Rob Duma, Nicky Dolan and then Gavin Williams. So there it is. So Rob Duma is coming through now. Yeah, and that is Nicky Dolan, Gavin Williams and Matthew Clark. That's the battle you're talking about, Spanners.
Isn't Duma in 4th? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Duma is in 5th. Endine is in 4th.
Roger.
So that's the battle we're talking about there. Rob Duma, the Polish driver, he is holding down 5th place, but it's Nicky Dolan who's trying to chase him. Gavin Williams there and Matt Clark at the tail of that group of 4. There's Duma now. Can Nicky Dolan close in? Certainly Gavin Williams closing on Nicky Dolan, and Clark has closed in on the pair of them.
Well, look at that. I mean, Duma's earned that gap, hasn't he, from defending from Endine the whole race so far, and now finally Endine's under some pressure, and Duma can kind of breathe and relax a little tiny bit.
Well, Duma's actually running in front of Nicky Dolan, and that is where the tough action is. Russell Endine is some way up the road. So Duma...
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, there was a bit of a problem going on, and I think Duma lost a whole ton of time. But Duma's actually pulling away again, and Dolan and Williams are at it on the back straight. So Duma has made up quite a lot of time there in just a single lap.
Well,
so,
I blame Nicky Dolan for having also a white race suit like Endine had.
Yes, a similar coloured suit. Yeah, he looked over his shoulder and probably thought, hang on a minute, that's still Russell Endine, isn't it? But no, it's Nicky Dolan. Now, Nicky Dolan's fighting a bit more of a rearguard action now over Gavin Williams and Matthew Clark. They're on screen now. It's Dolan who's in the grey and black suit leading that little group. So here comes Rob Duma. He's now sort of pulled himself forward from that group in the red and the yellow helmet. And there is Dolan, there is Williams, there is Clark. And Clark now is making a move on Gavin Williams. It's a bit all action. They're down the field, but no let up in the action. They're fighting over 6th place there. And it's 6th that Nicky Dolan has as they come around the hairpin. There's Nicky Dolan. Gavin Williams has a contact warning. He's in the middle of this Dolan, Williams and Clark scrap, so he's had a warning for his contact. That's him there in the dark suit and dark helmet. And Matt Clark is trying to work on him through the hairpins of the revised section there. Down the backstretch, there's Duma disappearing distance. There's Rob Duma, so you can see the gap he's now created to Nicky Dolan. There's Gavin Williams, who did have a warning over contact, and then he's been followed by Matt Clark in the red suit. But here comes the leader behind them. So the leader, Sam Slater, it's going to be the last lap. So this is surely going to be either the last lap or second to last lap, just because Sam Slater and there is Sean Broley. They're catching that battling group of Dolan, Williams and Clark. There's Sam Slater. Will they be bringing the checker out on this lap? We'll see. It's going to be very close. They might not. It's done on time, and if we run out of time, yes, I think they're going to be bringing the checker out on this one as that battling group, Dolan, Williams, Clark comes through. But here it is. It's going to be Sam Slater taking his 2nd win of the weekend. Is he? No, they're going to make him do another lap. There's going to be one more lap in it. There wasn't quite enough... they hadn't run out of time with which to bring the checker out. There is one more lap in it, and Sam Slater's going to have to work his way through. He's going to be relying on blue lights, but there's going to be 3 carts. He's got past Matt Clark. He's past Matt Clark. So is Sean Broley. Clark does everything he can to stay out of the way, and it's cost him dear in terms of being in his battle, but he has got out of the way of the leader, and that has helped Sam Slater because he's not going to catch the 2 in front in the time it takes to get round to the start line. Surely we're looking at a brilliant win here for Sam Slater. His 2nd win of the weekend throws him up the order in points. There's Sam Slater, takes the win from Sean Broley. Sean Broley's shaking his head. Sam Slater punch in the air, and doesn't that say it all, Spanners? Broley feels like he lost it. Sam Slater's delighted he's won it.
That's 2. Is that 2 wins then for Sam Slater?
It's exactly 2 wins. It's a brilliant result there by Sam Slater, and he's really put his year into overdrive, if you like. I don't think he expected to come away with 2 wins. This will really put him in a great position now for a semi-final place if he can hold on to that. It's a bit early, even with 2 wins, to be talking semi-finals.
I'm going to make eye contact with Sean and see if he wants to come and chat to me. Unlucky Sean, you're going to come and have a word. I think he will. You come and talk to me, Sam, as well. And you can kind of tell when you're going to come and talk to me, and then the look in their eyes is like, maybe. Well, let's see. It's definitely interesting to chat to those 2. The handshake. look at the emotions between those two. Sean Brierley actually in despair having lost that lead. Sam Slater offering a handshake of congratulations. It's always a little hollow when you're the guy who's lost out, though, isn't it?
Absolutely. Sean Brierley and Sam Slater definitely having a good chat down the bottom there. Sean was pointing across the track to the exact place where he got caught up with his back markers. Of course, there's no blue light on that particular corner, and there's only so much looking that people can really do. So it's just one of those things. But Spanners, you're going to get some great interviews down to you in the pit lane.
Yeah, I'll see if I can catch a chat with people and bother them as I'm coming up behind Smith in a very cool green race outfit with the skull of a Native American on the back. Very cool. Hey, Michael, third place. You got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, quite uneventful really, just by myself. I'm glad that layout's over and done with. I'm useless at it.
Fantastic, thank you very much, Michael Weddle. Obviously, try and grab the drivers as they're doing their weigh-ins, but we'll move over to the fancy grid where the drivers I've picked out can come and have a chat with me. But it does take a little bit of time for them to shuffle out. Let's see if we can catch a word with Sean. Sean, come and say hello. Look, you did everything right on paper. You can't be too unhappy, can you? Qualified on pole, you got out on a lead, you even carved yourself a little bit of a space in front of Sam.
Yeah, I did. It's disappointing. Lost the race, something a bit out of my control. Two guys battling into turn one. Decided to let me pass on the outside instead of the inside, almost put me in a wall. Lost everything I'd made, and I came out just too far behind to do anything.
I think when you look back, though, you look at your own performance and say, actually, I was pretty competitive out there.
Yeah, I was competitive, but I mean, this championship's it's all about the extra 10th, the extra position, and it's going to matter later on.
I hope to see you later on as well. Thank you very much, Sean. Good race there. But we'll catch up with Sam Slater again. And the grin, unfortunately, might affect the lens on the camera because Sam Slater is looking pretty pleased and happy with himself. He's done it again from the pits. Sam, come and have a word. But the debrief is still going on if you have a little look there. Still clearly Sean not happy with that, feeling aggrieved. You have to say he did everything he could. And he was desperately unlucky to get caught up in that battle. Come over here, Sam. Sam, you're a wizard. You've done it again.
Yeah, I'm over the moon with that. That was brilliant. I never thought I'd beat Sean a couple of years ago. He was the one I was looking up to get faster. I saw the opportunity to pit when he was stuck behind the back marker. I was actually surprised that he didn't pit. So I took advantage of it. My pit stop was flawless. I thought I was going to get a yellow light. I left it so tight, but it was all or nothing, and I wanted that win. I needed that win.
Was that all on you, the pit stop?
Yeah, that was one on the pit stop, I think so. Yeah.
No, I mean, did you make that decision to pit there and then?
Yes, yeah, because this early in the morning, no one's here to support me, so...
So I think for the rest of the day now, when people see the green of Sam Slater pitting, they're going to start panicking because you've pulled it off twice now.
Yeah, actually, a couple of years ago in the semi-finals, I gained 3 places in a pit stop. So, yeah, seems to be my strong point. So,
congratulations, you get another shiny. There you go, congratulations. Well done. Tactical masterclass from Sam Slater. And I think for the rest of the tournament, when Sam Slater pits, pay attention.